grace. Welcome joy, satisfaction, pleasure and strength. Welcome essence, beauty, presence, time, spirit, form and space. Welcome excellence and every blessing, sacred and praise.
What I see, I am. What I wanna know, I understand.
All I wish I could, I can. What I wanna be, I am.
What I seek, I am. What I wanna know, I understand. Oh, I wish I could, I can. Who I wanna be, I am. I am the seed, I am the tree. I am the flower, I am the bee. I am fire and I am wind. I accept love and also I give. I am loud and I am mighty. I am silent and I tread lightly. I am brave and monumental. I am modest, I am gentle. I am student and I teach. I am the sand and I am the beach. I am ease and I am power. I am bridge and I am tower. I am peace and I am wild. I am mother, I am child. I am many, I am few. I am God and God is you. What I seek, I have. What I wanna know, I understand. Oh, I wish I could, I can. Who I wanna be, I am. What I seek, I have. What I wanna know, I understand. All I wish I could, I can. Who I wanna be, I am. Welcome magic and wonder, brilliance and grace. Welcome joy, satisfaction, pleasure and strength. Welcome essence, beauty, presence, time, spirit, form and space. Welcome excellence in every blessing, sacred and praise. What I seek, I have. What I wanna know, I understand. All I wish I could, I can. Who I wanna be, I am. What I seek. May our hearts be open. 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 May our hearts be open.
I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. In the house of the divine is each one of us as we gather in this sacred space. Welcome to the Open Heart Spiritual Center, Heartstream. Let us turn within. O Christ within, Spirit divine, we are so thankful for this opportunity to, one, be alive, awake, and aware on this day. And as we gather in this space, bless all that we hold in our hearts today. Bless all that happens in this service. And bless all who are on our prayer list with continuing health and wholeness. May we all be more of our divine and true selves, inspired and motivated to do so, and empowered by what happens in this beautiful celebration. And may we leave here shining brighter, moving more as our real selves, and embodying more of our divinity, because we have crossed this place and come together. Bless this service to overflowing, and so it is. Blessings.
Amen. We'll fall into place.
All right, y'all. Let's try to. Somebody start off rock so we can be together again. Here we go.
We were together.
May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small standing by the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. When you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never feel those mountains in the distance, and never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth the making. Don't let some helmet heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. When you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I wanna tell you that time Saints.
What comes from the heart reaches the heart. Good morning and welcome to this Heartstream for this Sunday, June the 19th. Happy Father's Day. This is a great day. I don't know if you can hear on this recording, but outside my window, there is a bird that is singing so sweetly. I think it's helping us to recognize the wonderful, wonderful day that we are celebrating today. This is indeed Father's Day. And I want to say happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, whether you are a biological father or the father figure in someone's life, that this is your day. And this is your day to celebrate and to be proud of being a father. I take pride in being a father myself, and I enjoy being a father. And I wish this day is a special day for each and every one of you. I want to say happy Father's Day to my own father, Bishop Marshall Gilmore, and let you know, Daddy, that I love you and thank you for all of the things that you continually do for me in my life and how you impact the lives of so many. I'm also mindful of those people for whom this is a difficult day. There are people who've not had great relationships with their fathers, and my heart and my prayers and energy go out to you. Others whose fathers have transitioned, and this oftentimes is a painful time or a time where there are memories that there are great memories that you have, and also some memories that cause you some pain, some memories that cause you some sorrow and grief, all of that. But on this day, continue to hold the space for each and every one of you. Also, happy Juneteenth. This is Juneteenth, and the celebrations and the commemorations that take place on this day, when finally the word about the end of slavery made it to Texas, the state of Texas, and people look at it as being the end of slavery. And there are some things we could say about that, but celebrating this day also. This is just a special day and a great day to be alive and a great day to celebrate. I want to invite you on this day to continue to do all that you can to support Open Heart. If you love Open Heart, that if you will take the time to make a contribution, you can see the many different ways that we have for giving, but that you take the opportunity. I want to thank those people who already do and invite others of you who might not have done anything in that manner or maybe done it in a while. This is your chance. This is your opportunity to do so. This, again, is a very, very great day, a very special day, and I thank you for all the ways in which you helped to continue this Heartstream. I take this time, and I don't take this lightly, because indeed, for me, it is important for us, and I call this the Namaste moment. Namaste being the Hindu word, which really talks about the fact that the divine in me recognizes the divine in you. And that is why in this moment, I take great pride in saying, I greet you, I bless you, I see God in you. Our purpose statement. Our purpose is to create a spiritual community which recognizes that there is one presence and one power in the universe, God. Daily, we actively practice this spiritual truth. We open our heart space to each person to acknowledge one another as expressions of God. It is in each other that we see God.
Our theme for the month of June, God's business. My business and the business of my living is God's business, and God's business is always successful. I am in partnership with all the presence that there is. I am one with the only mind there is. I am one with the infinite presence. I am one with the eternal good. And so it is.
In celebration of the summer solstice, I thought I would read a brief excerpt from Glennis Living's Pagayan Cosmology in a section where she's introducing the summer solstice. The summer solstice. The moment of grace, that is summer solstice, marks the still point in the height of summer, when Earth's tilt and orbit cause the sun to begin its decline, its moment back to the north. This Sabbath is the polar opposite of winter solstice, when it is the light that is born. At the peak of summer, in the bliss of expansion, it is the dark that is born. It is a celebration of profound mystical significance that in a culture where the dark is not valued for its created telos may be confronting. This is the Sabbath for which Stonehenge was apparently built. Summer is a time for celebrating our realized creativity. Now, at this seasonal point, as we celebrate light's fullness, we celebrate our own ripening, like that of the wheat and the fruit. And like the wheat and the fruit, it is the sun that is in us that has ripened. The sun is the source of our every thought and action. The analogy is complete in that our everyday creativity and we ourselves are ultimately also food for the universe. Like the sun and the wheat and the fruit, we find the purpose of our creativity in the releasing of it, just as our breath must be released for its purpose of life. We celebrate the blossoming of creativity then, and the bliss of it, at a time when Earth is pouring forth her abundance, giving it away. We aspire to follow her example. In this cosmology, what is given is the self fully realized and celebrated.
Hey, 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 here come the announcements. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We know that this is your day and celebrate it with you. Whether you are a biological father or not, this is your day. Grandfather, a father, a dad, stepdad, adopted dads, dads-in-law, pet dads, new dads, godfathers, dads in heaven, expecting dads, honorary dads. This is your day. We salute you. With that said, we know that it also can be a difficult time for some people. And on this day, those who have lost their dad, has never known their dad, has a difficult relationship with their dad, has lost a child, is longing to be a dad whose dad is unwell, and those dads who are not able to see their children. This is a day that we think about you. We hold the space for you and send our prayers and our love to you on this day. And today is a busy day. It's also Juneteenth. We celebrate Juneteenth today as an annual holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the U.S. And this is also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Emancipation Day, and Liberation Day. And at the end of it, I want to say Happy Juneteenth. And coming up on Tuesday will be the summer solstice, and wishing all of you a happy summer solstice. June is Pride Month, and Open Heart from its very beginning was intentional about being an inclusive community. we unhesitatingly and wholeheartedly support our lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, and queer friends, their rights, their marriages, their pursuit of happiness, and their breath. And this is also true July through May.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day. Today is a day like no other day. Just think and you'll know that it's true. Days like today should be holidays. So I'm singing this message to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day.
At Open Heart, we absolutely believe in the power of affirmative prayer. We hold a space for these persons you see named here. We see you. We see you whole. We see you strengthened and encouraged. We see you recognizing the infinite within that animates and gives life to you and sustains you through all circumstances. And so it is. I'm always grateful to those who provide an affirmative reading. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And this is your opportunity to submit a video to Jay Gilmore at Openheartspiritual.org. Our daily affirmative prayer call takes place each and every morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. Dial in as one of our prayer team members shares an inspirational reading and then prays for you, all in about 7 minutes. As always, we're thankful for your gifts. There are 3 ways to give: through our Cash App, to give online at our website, or text the word GIVE to 615-422-4292. Infinite prosperity is mine to share. I am blessed, and we hope that you will continue to share in your prosperity with Open Heart. Here's another easy way to support Open Heart. With Amazon Smile. With Amazon Smile, you'll find the same Amazon dashboard, order, and browsing history you currently use. Nothing changes, except a donation is made to Open Heart with each eligible purchase. You see, Amazon will donate 0.5% of the price of your eligible Amazon Smile purchase to Open Heart whenever you shop. You can go to our website and you can click on the banner that's there and it'll take you to Amazon. You can go to Amazon and go to Smile and give you a tip. We're listed as Open Heart Community of Faith Ministries and Church because that is our official name when we signed up through Smile. And you can even do this. I do this. You can add the Amazon Smile extension to your browser if you use Google Chrome. And then all you have to do is click on that and it will take you completely into the portal and you're able to support Open Heart. But it's an opportunity for you, if you already shop at Amazon, to support Open Heart and what you're doing, and we appreciate it.
Summertime and the living's easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. you're most good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Summertime and the living's easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Yeah. Your daddy's rich and your mom's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You spread your wings and take to the sky. But till that morning, ain't nothing gonna harm you. With daddy and mommy standing by. Summertime and the living's easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your mom's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Don't you cry. Don't you cry.
I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
I welcome you to the centering moment. Let's take a moment to breathe in and out. And in this space, recenter, refocus. Open our eyes, our heart, and ears, O divine, to hear from you clearly, joyfully, lovingly. Let us breathe in again and out. I am centered.
Again, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, whether you are a biological father or have played the role of father in someone's life. This is your day. One of the things that I'm so happy about with my life is the opportunities that I've had to meet and interact with people from all walks of life. And a memorable moment for me was a number of years ago when I was asked by the National Civil Rights Museum for the gala that they have every year to give the invocation. And that particular year, one of the honorees was General Colin Powell, who at that time was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And as we gathered in the room with all of the program participants, they came in and they gave us a briefing. And they instructed us that when General Powell came into the room, not to approach him in any way or engage him, ask him for autographs or take a picture or anything else like that, but to allow he and his wife to have their privacy and to sit in a particular section of the room, and the program would proceed as things were outlined. And so as they walked into the room, though, to everyone's surprise, particularly the person who was giving us a briefing, was that rather than them going and sitting privately in another area of the room, they started walking around to greet everyone who was in the room, going to each person individually and shaking their hand and finding out their name and finding out things about them. And when it got to me, he started talking and asking my name and how long I've been in Memphis. And I shared with him the fact that my own father, Bishop Marshall Gilmore, that there were times when my father had been in airports and other places and had been approached by people thinking that he was General Powell. And General Powell's response to me was, well, I hope he's better looking. And we all laughed about that. But what I saw in that moment was a person that we had been told was to be unapproached, and a person that we were told to stand off from and to not have ourselves in their particular space. But he was just quite the opposite. He came into our space and he was there and he was amiable. He was joking. He was laughing. Everything else about him in that moment. And I think about that because in a similar way, Jesus does the same thing for us with these two simple words, our Father. Now, it might not seem like much to you, but there is something to be said about him in this particular prayer that we know as the Lord's Prayer. Jesus begins with the words, our Father. As a matter of fact, in Roman Catholicism, in the Catholic tradition, they refer to this particular prayer as the Our Father. And we might take these words for granted because of the familiarity that most of us have with the prayer. But to do so is to miss something. Jesus spoke in Aramaic. I know people think that he spoke in the King James English and that kind of thing, but he spoke in Aramaic. And in Aramaic, there is a distinction here between the way that Jesus spoke about God when Jesus used the term our Father. It's the difference between a father and a daddy. A father is a statement of a biological relationship with a child or children. But to be a daddy is a declaration of an intimate and nurturing connection. To put things in context, in Jewish culture, God had been thought of as being too high and mighty to be bothered by many, particularly ordinary people. In fact, we can think back to the tradition in Exodus that no one is even capable of beholding God, that God is high and mighty, and that God is off somewhere, not wanting to be bothered, and that has to be approached in certain ways. And I think about, you hear people talk and use the words about being God-fearing, as God is this awesome kind of being or expression that we have to shake and tremble in our boots and be afraid of. I think about when years ago I was asked to participate in an exhibition in one of the city schools where they were showing where they were showing exhibits by school children. And there was a particular one that I took interest in as I was walking around. And there was a young man at a table, and there were people who were gathered around him. And he had chosen a piece of literature that was meaningful to him. And what it was a sermon by Jonathan Edwards, a minister from 1700s who had a famous sermon called Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. And it was a popular theme at the time, and this was a sermon that was talking about how we're sinners before God, and how God is wrathful, and how we barely deserve to even be living because of our sin and of our unworthiness and all of that. And I was really surprised by not only the fact that this young man had chosen that particular piece, but the fact that there were people that were gathered around his table. And as he talked about words from that particular sermon, and he shared those ideas, how many people actually agreed with him? How many people saw God as being an angry God and saw people as being unworthy? But that was the way that people thought, and that is the way that people many times very often think. So I think that it's important for us today to get the distinction that the master teacher was providing with us, because in Aramaic he says abun, or oftentimes it is translated as Abba, but it ultimately means, in its literal expression, daddy. That's right. He's providing us with an understanding and awareness of God in terms of being an intimate connection with God. And I want to make it clear that the point here is not about the masculinity of God or the gender of God, for ultimately we know God to be spirit, and all that is flowing from God. And because of that, God, we are all things, and to only think of God in a dimorphic way ignores the fact that God is the expression of all things. So not only is God male, female, non-binary, gender non-conforming, all of those things, I know those were concepts that Jesus was probably not familiar with in his day, but I digress. The fact of it is that in this moment, the way that Jesus is talking, he's talking in the way that he could express in that day, using terms and using ideas of relationship that people understood. So he used the words abun, or Abba, or daddy, to express the relationship with God. And it's important for us to understand this as I move forward with what I'm talking about this way, because I know that in English that it's rendered in a way that we have, because we have shortcomings, because it becomes difficult to talk about God without using some type of way. When we start talking about it in that way, people will use the term he, or use the term father, or use the term referring to God in masculine terms. But ultimately, God just is. And you will oftentimes hear me, again, because of the shortcomings of English, use the word it in describing God. But ultimately, God cannot be defined. God is beyond all things. But it's about talking about proximity. No longer is God some far-off deity that can't be reached except by some people, but that God is intimate, God is close, God is personal, God is right here, right with us. And that's an important thing for us to understand. And then we add power to our understanding of this intimate relationship when Jesus adds the word our. Because in that moment, this our means the proximity of God is even more closer, an even greater connection for us. It's not the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob that we would hear so often in the Hebrew Bible, but it's a universal understanding. God as being our Abun, our Abba, our daddy, that close personal relationship that you and I have with God, that connection that is ours. And I know, again, I have to be careful with language, because admittedly, there are people who have daddy issues and that spill over into their relationship with God. I am so clearly remember a number of years ago, a young lady that I was dealing with who came to me for a prayer. She was desperate for prayer. She said, "You have to pray to God for me because God isn't speaking to me right now." I was a bit puzzled because I was wondering why she thought that God was not speaking to her. So I asked her why she felt that way, and she described to me the fact that she had made some particular decisions in her life, and she felt that because of those decisions that God was angry with her, that God was disappointed with her, and so therefore I had to pray because God would not hear her prayers. And so as I continued to talk with her, she then shared with me the fact that not only was God not speaking to her, but also her own biological father was not speaking to her, also because of his disappointment and his being upset with the same decisions that she had made. And as I listened, it became clear to me how she was equating her relationship with her father to her relationship with God. And as I started to share that with her and express that to her, I saw her becoming very angry and very upset with me when I tried to show her the parallels that were there. But it was important in my mind for her to get that, for her to understand that, and for her to know that God never stopped speaking to her, if you will. God never stops hearing her prayers. But it took a while, and I don't know if she ever completely got the message. But I do know, I saw in that way that because when we use the terms and talking about God in terms of father or daddy or whatever else, it can trigger people who have had and who have daddy or father issues. And I'm aware of that. But I'm here again saying to us that there's something that is greater for us to understand, something greater for us to grasp and get a hold of that becomes important in our lives once we do. And that is that our relationship with God can never be spoiled. It can never be severed. It can never be disconnected or anything else like that. Ernest Holmes said that God is impersonal, but also personal to all, meaning that on the one hand, God is that impersonal principle that operates and just simply is, that provides all that is for the universe, and is impersonal in that way, but yet personal because it's also available to us intimately. And when we understand that, we understand God not playing favorites. That's the impersonal aspect of God. But then the personal aspect of God, that God is constantly conspiring on our behalf, that God is constantly with us, that God is, as the poet says, my very breath, my heartbeat, my life. I can think about one Father's Day weekend. I was asked to write something about being a father. And I shared the fact that being a father is about experiencing the world with my children. We teach each other what it means to love, forgive, lie, and laugh and cry together. And in writing it, I realized that I was seeing my children through my eyes, and also, I hope, how they looked at me. I was thinking about my son and about the fact that I had spent those late nights staying up with him working on science projects, which I've shared about before, even after he'd gone to bed. And those conversations that I had with him about being a black man in this society and how he's likely to be viewed. And even that talk that you have to have about what should happen if he has an encounter with the police and other people in authority and other people who could change his life sometimes for unfortunate circumstances and unfortunate ways. I also thought about the experiences that I had with my daughter as I see her growing and expressing and moving into a full understanding of who it is that she is. And I can see those things, and I can see in my own way being proud of them. And I'm not saying that they're perfect. Sure, I know all of us have things that we do that move us away from where we really might think that we ought to be. But again, the joy that I have for them, the pride that I have for them, Those kinds of things that I was feeling as I wrote that, as I was feeling that. And as I was thinking about that, I started asking myself, what must the universal presence feel for us? If I could have that awareness and that understanding and that feeling that was there in me for my own children, how must the universal personal presence, the personal aspect of God feel for us? How must it feel for each and every one of you? How must it feel about us? And that becomes important for us to understand. That becomes vitally important for us in the ways in which we live this life. Going back to the story that I opened with, where they told us to step back, that general power was not to be approached. Some of you have come through systems of religion. They gave you the idea that somehow God, source, spirit, the universe, Abba, Abun, Daddy, however it is that you want to call it, is unapproachable. But I'm here to tell you this morning, don't believe it. Don't believe it, because again, as the poet says, that God is closer than breathing, nearer than hands than feet. And our opportunity today, no matter what might be happening in life, no matter what we might be going through or experiencing, we have a presence that is with us, a presence that abides with us, a presence that flows through us, a presence that is ours, that we can welcome into our lives, that we can embrace, that is here and now, that never leaves us, that never forsakes us, that never forgets us, that is always constantly with us. It experiences the world with us. It is in our laughter, in our dreams, in our tears, through our joys and through our pains and through everything else that is happening for us, that it is there. It is ours. It is ours. And as we move, live, and have our being in this expression, as we allow ourselves to go forth with this awareness and understanding, it provides for us. It makes a way out of no way. It goes before us to make the crooked places straight and the rough places plain. It gives us each and every day an opportunity to wake up with a brand new experience, a brand new day that is ours for the receiving, that is ours for the welcoming, that is ours for the taking. It is indeed good news for us today. This is our time. This is our day. And on this Father's Day, we celebrate a God that moves in us and provides us with all that is necessary for living this life, this abundant life. And so it is. Happy Father's Day.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it all go. Are you listening? You got to let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. Yes,